Hey, what's up, guys? It is Q&A Friday, and I have a couple questions that came in from clients this week. Julie had a really good question. I've actually gotten asked about this a lot. So you know when you get on a treadmill or maybe an elliptical, a cardio machine at the gym, and it has your heart rate zone, and it'll have fat burn zone and then perhaps performance or endurance. So what that's referring to is that your body uses fats and carbohydrates for fuel. The higher intensity of your activity, the more it's going to be fueled by carbohydrate. The lower intensity, the activity, such as walking, you're going to use mostly fat for fuel. However, when you are trying to lose weight, the overall factor that's going to determine whether or not you actually lose fat is the amount of calories you burn, because remember, we need to create a deficit between expending more energy than we take in. So if you're working out and you're thinking, I want to stay in that fat burn zone because I want to burn fat, you'll have to work out longer in order to burn as many calories as if you work out at that higher intensity. And even though you're technically not in a fat burn zone, overall you're going to burn more calories because you're working harder. So my advice is ignore that. Pay attention to how you feel. Work as hard as you possibly can. Come down, rest, and recover. Go back to working as hard as you possibly can. Repeat that as many times as possible until you reach about 25 to 30 minutes of total exercise time. And just ignore that fat burn zone. Don't need to pay attention to it. Our second question this week is from my client, Stephanie. Stephanie is in meetings all day, and she can get her meals in, but she doesn't have access to a microwave. And one of the things we're working on is getting more protein into her diet. So she asked if I could recommend some protein sources that you can eat that do not need to be reheated. I will tell you that as long as you've cooked it, you don't need to reheat anything. I ate a beef patty the other day at lunch cold. It may not be the most appetizing thing in the world, but as long as you've already cooked that meat, you can eat anything cold. But what's going to be the most appetizing for you? I think chicken is great cold. Cold chicken cut up on a salad is delicious, or maybe with a cold quinoa salad with some vegetables. That could be easy in a Tupperware. Doesn't have to be reheated and will still taste delicious. Greek yogurt is another one. As long as you have access to a refrigerator, you can have that cold, obviously. If you like tuna fish, I know there's some concern sometimes about the smell, but get over it. Bumblebee Tuna makes these great little tuna packets. They're about 2.5 ounces each, so you could have 1 or 2 depending on your protein needs. They don't need to be drained. You just tear off the top and you can eat it with a fork. I love those for traveling. And then, of course, another wonderful option is going to be a Quest bar, which are very high in protein, or a protein powder. Mix it up in a shaker bottle or in a shake or a smoothie. So those are some wonderful protein options for you guys if you don't have access to a microwave and you don't like eating cold meat. I have some exciting news to share with you guys this week. I'm going to be taking my Q&As live. If you've heard of Periscope, it's a new app that allows you to stream live online. It's through Twitter, but you don't have to have a Twitter account, so if you're not on Twitter, don't worry. Just download the Periscope app. It is free. And follow me. It's at Melanie Ash. And then when I go live, you'll get a notification. I'm going to start doing live versions of the Q&A every Sunday at about 5 p.m. for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how many questions there are. And you guys can actually type in your questions live as I'm talking. So if there's something that I mentioned that you're confused about and you want to clarify, or if something comes to mind as you're watching, you can get your question answered live. It'll be a really fun opportunity for us to interact in person over the internet. So download Periscope, follow me at Melanie Ash, and be sure to watch for that notification this Sunday at 5 o'clock for our first live Q&A. That's it for this week. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.